Alright, people, so there's some new information on the third SpongeBob movie that I wanted to take a second to tell you guys about. Now the SpongeBob it's a Wonderful Life. As we already knew, it is going to basically tell the story of how SpongeBob basically met all of his friends and the rest of Bikini Bottom as a kid at summer camp. But guys, that with this new information, there is going to be way more to this movie than just an origin story, because we now know that the main plot rather of SpongeBob It's a Wonderful Life is going to be Gary is basically kidnapped by Poseidon, which is the son of King Neptune, who you guys might remember from that special where it's Poseidon's birthday, and Poseidon thinks that his parents throwing him a birthday party at the Krusty Krab is lame, and he basically takes control of the Krusty Krab. It's that guy. Anyway, guys, Poseidon is going to somehow, someway, get into SpongeBob's house and take Gary to at 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 Atlantic City. Sorry about that, guys. Now it is unclear whether this Atlantic City it is a reference to, obviously, the Atlantic City in New Jersey, or if this is some new forbidden part of Bikini Bottom that we have never gotten to explore before. My guess, guys, is it will require SpongeBob and Patrick, because that's the other new piece of information. This movie is going back to the 2004 formula of just SpongeBob and Patrick going on this adventure to Atlantic City to basically find Poseidon and rescue Gary. Now, guys, I am going more along the lines of, once again, at Atlantic City. I think it actually is referring to the to New Jersey, and SpongeBob and Patrick will once again have to return to the surface to go to New Jersey to stop Poseidon and rescue Gary. Now, guys, some people might say, "Oh, this is just basically the same old plot of the first movie." No, guys. As we all remember, the first movie was Patrick and SpongeBob having to go to Shell City to rescue King Neptune's crown to basically save Mr. Krabs. But this time, Poseidon has taken something even more precious to SpongeBob, his closest friend and companion next to Patrick. That being Gary. And guys, I can only imagine the devastation that SpongeBob will have when he discovers that Poseidon has kidnapped Gary and taken him to this Atlantic City, and unless you come to stop me, you'll never see your little buddy again. Now, my guess is, guys, Poseidon's motivation for doing this, it could, and this is not confirmed at all, by the way, could be to get back at SpongeBob for getting Poseidon in trouble with his parents. But again, that side of things has not been confirmed. But we do know that that the origin story of SpongeBob meeting Patrick and the rest of his friends is only going to be maybe not even the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, and the main story will be SpongeBob and Patrick once again going on a road trip to the surface to Atlantic City to go rescue Gary. And guys, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like this movie is actually going to do much better with the fans than Sponge Out of Water did, because this is going back straight to the classic way that the original 2004 SpongeBob first theatrical movie did. Nobody else is said to be involved in going to rescue Gary. It's just back to SpongeBob and Patrick going on the adventure themselves. And to me, guys, I feel like that it is going to make a lot of fans, especially of the first SpongeBob movie, happy. Now, the last piece of news is something we already kind of knew. Now, unlike the first 2 theatrical movies, it's a Wonderful Sponge, rather, will be entirely 3D animated, guys. No 2D animation for SpongeBob, It's a Wonderful Sponge. But in a way, I feel like it's going to serve this movie a bit better, because, guys, New Jersey, I'm just going to say, because I can't say Atlantic City, supposedly. Atlantic City actually being a real place, and SpongeBob and Patrick once again having to go up to the surface, maybe once again with a little help from Bubbles, to either regain their ability to breathe on mainland, or possibly even to regain their superpowers, just to stop Poseidon and bring Gary back home. I feel like CGI is going to serve this movie a lot better, and unlike most CGI animated movies, I think that as long as they stick to the designs of the CGI that SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs had in Sponge Out of Water, I truly do not think that, even though this movie will not have any 2D animation, I still think people will enjoy SpongeBob, It's a Wonderful Sponge. not so much because it's going to tell the story about SpongeBob and Patrick first met, but because it it it, it but because it's going to demonstrate the wonderful power of true friendship in the most cathartic of ways that the writing team could possibly think of. Because, guys, SpongeBob has already lost Gary once before, and the fact that Poseidon, basically the son of King Neptune, basically has Gary with him in at in at 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 in the city of New Jersey, and knowing how strong that Poseidon must have gotten now that he is older, that's going to move SpongeBob to tears and drive him to do whatever he has to get his best friend in the world back. What to get his pet snail Gary back, and who better to help him than somebody that he also shares a strong friendship with than his best friend Patrick. So, guys, again, this movie will tell the story about SpongeBob and Patrick and everybody else met at Camp Coral Reef, but the main story is Poseidon kidnapped Gary, took him to Atlantic City, and SpongeBob and Patrick go on this adventure to get Gary back. And I am personally excited to see how the movie unfolds. Now, guys, obviously, this movie has a bit of sadness attached to it because it is the first theatrical movie to not be overseen by the creator of SpongeBob, the late genius of Steven Hillenburg. But, guys, I truly do feel like that Steven would still want this movie to happen, and if this truly is SpongeBob's final curtain call, even though I still have a feeling that Nickelodeon does have plans to keep SpongeBob going for as long as they can. Just think of it this way, guys. Steven did have involvement in the production of It's a Wonderful Sponge, as well as SpongeBob's 20th birthday celebration episode, which will be airing sometime in July. So, even if even if you're my age, around 23 or 24, when It's a Wonderful Sponge is released next July in 2020, please, if you have respect for Steven's for Steven's memory, please, either you go yourself, or if anybody out there seeing this has kids or knows a younger person that is a fan of SpongeBob, please, as a last tribute to the genius that was Mr. Ellenberg, let's all go and see this, regardless if SpongeBob will continue after It's a Wonderful Sponge is released. Please go and watch it in theaters as one last tribute to a man that gave us one of the most, if not the most, iconic cartoon character of the 21st century. Again, guys, SpongeBob, It's a Wonderful Sponge, will be released sometime in July of 2020, and its real plot involves SpongeBob and Patrick going on an adventure to stop the son of King Neptune Poseidon and to get Gary back. So please go watch it. If nothing else, even if you think the idea is boring, overused, recycled, whatever, if you truly have respect for everything that Steven gave to SpongeBob, even if you weren't planning on going to see this movie, if you have nieces, nephews, kids of your own that are into SpongeBob, take them to see this movie, guys, because it is the last major project that Steven had full involvement with. So please go and see this. It's a Wonderful Sponge in honor of Steven Hillenburg.